welcome our guests who are joining us on the broadcast this afternoon. We have with us retired Major General A.J. Jaini, who is a defence expert, live with us. We also have with us retired Colonel Mahesh Ramachandran, who is also a defence expert. Good afternoon to both of you, gentlemen. Appreciate you joining us here on Times Now. Major General Jaini, to you first. You know, a couple of important developments have taken place. Let's start talking about the most important development that has taken place so far. And this one is about a statement that has come from Iranian President Pezeshkian, who in a message has in a way apologized to the neighboring countries that also were attacked when the conflict began between Iran, Israel and the United States of America. How do you see the statement that has come from the Iranian president, and do you actually expect things to start perhaps getting better for the Gulf states going forward?
Good afternoon, Hina. Good afternoon to you, to your viewers, and to my co-panelists. This issue of de-escalation, this statement which their president has made, well, it could be under certain compulsions. Compulsion number one could be that Iran has probably run out of its missile strength. The other compulsion could be that they have probably realized that they have antagonized the Gulf states more than enough. The Gulf states survive basically on export of their oil, which has got totally messed up because of the closure of the Straits of Hormuz. Then they are also dependent on import because the Middle East countries don't grow anything, not even grass, except dates and khajur. They don't grow anything. Everything of their daily use is an import, which cannot come through unless the Straits of Hormuz are opened. And the third thing, Hina, is very important, which I wonder whether anybody has realized. The Middle East is short of fresh drinking water. Most of their water is desalinated through plants. And in case the Iranians go and bomb up these plants, then I'm afraid Middle East will not even have water. So there may have been certain compulsions, though I don't believe much of this statement of this president, because Iran is not a country which will capitulate so easily. Okay. They have the cultural strength, they have the geographical positional strength, they have the nuclear strength. Right. They may not be a nuclear nation, but the fact remains, Hina, that they are more than 60% enriched already. Okay. If Iran wants, they can make a bomb in 10 days' time. And third thing is their civilizational strength, and I'll take 10 seconds more. In the civilizational strength, we must not forget that Iran is vertically divided between the urban and the rural. The urban is very less. Tehran and a few other cities who may not be that pro-Ayatollah, pro-regime. But the rural area, out of the 90 million, 90% of those are in the rural areas. They are hardcore Shiites. They are hardcore vowed in loyalty to the Ayatollah, and they are hardcore fighters. If what is to be believed today, it would have happened in 1979. Okay. Right from 1979 till today, Iran has not capitulated to the dadagiri of USA. Okay. So therefore, what the president says, I believe it, but with a pinch of salt.
Okay. Hina. Some very interesting points you have made. You're saying that perhaps it has come out of compulsion, the sort of apology that has been made by the Iranian president. Colonel Mahesh Ramachandran, what do you make of what the president has said? Because after this report came out, we also got another news piece suggesting that the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps has said that it has targeted an oil tanker in the Gulf that was passing through the Strait of Hormuz.
Exactly, Hina. Firstly, good evening to you, General Jaini, listeners. This is the point. Initially, one thought that this was the result of the track 2 back channel talks which were taking place, and this is a temporary relief given to the Gulf states. But you just said, when we were discussing regime change, one of the options of regime change was how does US drive a wedge between the president and the Ayatollah and the clerics, right? I don't know if that is playing out, because when I see this statement coming out from the president and I see the IRGC, attacking a tanker in the Straits of Hormuz, then it is cause for concern. Then maybe I don't know. It could well be that is there some divide between the two power centers. Is it going to be IRGC against Artish? Artish is their regular army. But what it is definitely not is a sign of capitulation. No, it is not. That I agree with General Jaini. It is not a sign of capitulation. In fact, it probably gives them a little more time to reorganize themselves. And the last point I want to make is, were they attacking the neighboring Gulf states? They were attacking the US bases, and every neighboring Gulf state has a US base, has a naval base or an air force base or a surveillance center, So honestly, so yes, their drones could have gone wrong. They landed and there were civilian collateral damages as well.
Right.
So yeah, they have bought peace for some time at least, and they don't want to sort of antagonize the thing. But there was also a talk that maybe there is a quid pro quo between Iran and the Gulf states, because the Gulf states may now put pressure on the US, because they have a huge $1 trillion trade with the US, and
Right.
If they put that pressure on the US, maybe it'll give them some respite.
Okay. Now, we've spoken about, what has come out of Iran. Let's also focus on what's happening as far as the United States of America is concerned. The country that actually launched Operation Epic Fury 8 days ago. It was a Saturday only. Last Saturday only, when we saw the launch of Operation Epic Fury by United States of America and also an operation by Israel against Iran. Now, viewers, the United States of America has now vowed to dismantle Iran's military infrastructure with a strong warning that has come from US Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. He has said that tonight could be one of the biggest bombing campaigns yet, with more Iranian missile launchers expected to be targeted. Now, this is a very, very important statement that has come from the United States of America. Major General AJB Jaini, now, what do you make of the statement that has come from the US? Because apart from this, we've also seen a statement coming in from President Donald Trump, wherein he has said there's going to be no deal with Iran except unconditional surrender. But what do you make of what has been said by Scott Bessent specifically?
Hina, first I want to put the facts in the correct perspective. Who started the war? Who started the conflict? It was not USA, I am afraid. It was Israel. Because it was Israel who fired the first missiles on the headquarters of the Ayatollah, killing his son, and quite a bit of the leadership of the Iran government. And that, my study tells me, was done without the consent of USA. But having done that, then Netanyahu wanted the US support, which Donald Trump was very willing to give because it suited his purpose. So the facts must be clear as to who started the war. It was Israel who started and not USA who started. The second thing, if you connect that bit into the statement which the president or the vice president of Iran has made, that if we are not attacked first, we will not retort. After all, they were attacked first, and that is why they retorted. And if, now coming to your last bit of statement which you narrated, that tonight is going to be a night of fury and they are going to have the heaviest of bombardment ever known in the history of warfare, then where does the statement of the vice president go? It means nothing, because Iran is not going to sit put and take all this shit coming onto them. They are going to retort. They're not going to retort tomorrow. They will retort today itself. But what is more important, Hina, is what is happening in the Middle East. There is a very critical divide taking place between the Shias and the Sunnis. All the Middle East states are Sunni states. And Iran is a hardcore Shia state. By the collateral damage, as my colonel friend also very rightly mentioned, They may be hitting the American bases, but the fact remains that if you fire 10 missiles, 8 of them might be intercepted, 2 will still go through, and collateral damage will be done. That collateral damage is widening the divide between the Shias and the Sunnis, which probably, and I say that with emphasis, probably the Shia government of Iran doesn't want to wish for or expect.
Okay.
Hina.
Colonel Mahesh Ramachandran, now, Major General Jenny has made a point, but when we saw how Iran was targeted last Saturday, both the countries, US and Israel, announced one after the other that it was a joint operation that has been launched by both the countries against Iran that actually wished death for both America as well as Israel. And they wanted to, in fact, get rid of the existing regime under Ali Khamenei. But what do you make of now the statement that has come from U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent? Tonight, like General Saab said, it's going to be a night of fury. What is your understanding? What is the U.S. threatening to do? What can the United States of America really do?
Sure. Let me just start by very respectfully disagreeing with General Jenny, saying that the U.S. was not aware that Israel is going to strike. This was a joint operations planned way before this happened. This argument, sorry sir, I feel is a little facetious. But coming down to what Bassett has said, what are they going to do? So what is this, the 8th night or the 9th night? What is going to happen? I mean, are the gods going to, are the devils going to descend on Tehran? So obviously, this could also be posturing. Yes, they will be bombing, they will be large scale, they will attack their underground facilities, which they have been doing. But the fact is, then you are telling Iran that we are coming, and Iran is not going to just be sitting. They might well be saying, okay, bring it on. Let's see, tomorrow will tell.
Okay, I think Major General Jenny also wanted to come in quick rebuttal, and then I'll move on to the other piece of information that we've got.
As I see it, Hina, whatever the US is saying, the world is now disbelieving whatever Trump or his stooges are shouting from Washington.
Okay.
In the morning they say something, in the evening they say something, before they're going to bed they say something, after getting up from dinner they say something. Nobody is believing Master Donald Trump at all. He's now probably, I don't want to say on a national hookup, but he's proving to be the biggest liar in the world. So what is going to happen? It is only when Iran has gone through a lot of devastation, they've gone through a lot of loss of lives. It is only when the Middle East is suppressed in their economic export, import and their livelihood. And it is only after the Iranis run through the missiles. And one more issue, Hina.
Okay.
The Israelis are also being affected because the Hezbollah, the Iranis are smart. They are launching the Hezbollahs from Lebanon and they're playing hell into the Israeli setup there. So how many fronts are a small country like Israel going to manage? Are they going to pay attention towards bombing Iran, or they are going to do self-safeguarding or self-preservation?
Well, so far what we have seen is they've been sustaining both the fronts. They've been sustaining both the fronts quite effectively. On one hand, Iran, the missile strikes continue. On the other hand, the fight with Hezbollah in Lebanon is also continuing. Stay with us, gentlemen. There is another important piece of information that we are getting for our viewers. U.S. Central Command, viewers, has said over 3,000 targets inside Iran have been struck in the first week of this operation, marking one of the most sustained air and sea operations in recent years. U.S. forces in coordination with Israel have reportedly hit a wide range of Iranian military infrastructure, including command centers, air defense systems, missile sites, and naval assets. Take a look at the visuals that we are bringing for you at this point in time. The visuals that you can see on your screens right now. The Pentagon has released videos and details highlighting the scale of the strikes as part of the ongoing offensive, which officials describe as proceeding with full force. US Central Command has released detailed information from the first 7 days of Operation Epic Fury. According to the US, 3,000 targets were struck during joint US-Israel operation against Iran. The major assets employed include B-1 and B-2 bombers, Lucas drones, F-15, F-16, F-18 and F-22 fighter jets, along with high-mobility artillery rocket systems. Key Iranian targets reportedly hit include the IRGC joint headquarters, integrated air defense systems, naval ships and submarines. The US has now shared these images and details online, highlighting the scale of the military campaign. Let's go back to my guests who continue to be with us at this point in time. To you now, Colonel Ramachandran. It was also being said by you only that it could also be posturing, because the idea is also to put pressure on Iran to surrender by also sharing these kind of details with the world, that this is the kind of impact this joint operation with Israel has already had with Iran. But on the contrary, Iran doesn't seem to be in a mood to surrender.
Exactly. So which is why I asked this question. What is it that they're going to do tonight that they haven't done in the last 7-8 days? They have been incessantly pounding Tehran. They've attacked. They've almost finished off their naval capability, their air defense, their air force. So what remains to be done is probably only completely defanging Iran. So, what will happen tomorrow, we don't know. But what will not happen, I can tell you. The war is not ending tomorrow. Okay, that much you can be sure of. So this is posturing. This is putting pressure on Iran, and I won't be surprised if it just turns out to be a damp squib tomorrow.
Okay. Major General Jenny, I also want to talk to you a little bit about what is happening as far as the Supreme Leader's funeral is concerned, because a couple of days ago we heard that the funeral is going to take place, and then suddenly we got information that it has been postponed. I mean, what could really be happening in your opinion on that front?
Hina, answering that question first, you see, Ali Khamenei was a very revered and a very respected leader. 90% of Iran's population are pro-Khamenei, very staunch Shiites who are sworn in their loyalty to Khamenei. Now, when a leader of that kind passes away, they're bound to be a humongous, an absolute millions and millions are going to turn up for his funeral, for his burial. So therefore, the administration has to make security arrangements. The administration has to make safety arrangements. You can never trust the Western allies, either Israel or USA, that when his funeral is going on, when there are millions gathered there to pay homage to their departed leader, these people will go and strap them and bomb them and missile them. There is no doubt about, no fear about that, no doubt about that. So therefore they have to, that is why they had to postpone it. You mentioned about sustenance of Israel. Yes, I agree with you, Hina, that Israel, against all types of odds, including the 7th November attack, they have sustained. But now the situation has changed. Netanyahu's popularity is going down. His opposition parties are asking, what the hell is happening? You have achieved nothing. And therefore, Netanyahu also is looking for some kind of an exit. And therefore, when I say that this war, to that extent, I'll permit Ramachandran, I'll request Ramachandran to permit me to disagree with him that this war is not going to last as long as Ukraine or Afghanistan or it happened in Iraq. Moreover, in USA, the popularity of Master Donald Trump is also going down in popularity. The cost of living is going up by 40%. Escalation has taken place in daily needs of the Americans. Right. And then the November, the mid elections are coming about. Already Donald Trump's popularity is down by 9%. I'll conclude in 30 seconds. What was the political aim of America to get into this war? What was the political aim? As a military analyst, I am thoroughly confused. Was the political aim to make a regime change, get the Ayatollahs out and plant a puppet government there? They have failed. They have not achieved that because another Ayatollah has taken out. Was the political aim, and they have kept on changing. They keep on changing.
Yes, we have seen a lot of flip-flops on that aspect
and he
as
said,
well.
No, my aim is I'll finish. Then he said, my aim is the nuclear, this thing to detonate them in nuclear. They are already 60% enriched. Then he says, my aim is to reduce their missile strength.
Right.
They have to be clear. You cannot have a war without a political aim, because from a political aim comes out the military aim. From the military aims comes out the military objectives.
Right.
These guys, the Western powers, the Israelis, the Americans,
right,
they have no idea of what they are doing and which direction they are going.
Quick response, Colonel Ramachandran. I think you still disagree with Major General Jaini.
No. I only disagreed on the aspect of this U.S. and Israel not being on the same page on this attack.
Are both now looking for an exit?
Exactly. This is what on day one we thought the off ramp only Iran is going to run to the negotiating table and say, look, let us off the hook. Today we really don't know. Israel needs an exit. US needs an exit. General Jaini was talking about the popularity of the US president dipping. The popularity of Bibi Netanyahu is not exactly growing in leaps and bounds. He also has problems. He's facing serious corruption charges. But how this clearly they have miscalculated. Israel and US have miscalculated what they thought would be a T20 is now going into a test match, and an unending test match at that. So yes, the objectives are clearly what they were: regime change through fueling unrest and external aggression has not worked. Defanging to some extent has happened. Is it permanent or not? Let's see.
All right. We'll, of course, be getting more updates to our viewers on this big story. But for now, I have to slip into a very, very short break, requesting both my guests to please stay on with us. We'll be back in just a few minutes.